Hello and welcome to Top Sim. My name is William Lebowski, and today I had a different plan for this video than the one we're going forward with. I originally had written out this script that in review and with some proper time, I think was too negative and didn't necessarily send the right message that I was trying to send. But here, before we really get into the video, I am definitely going to be sharing my experience with LFM so far in rFactor 2, and so far this was about 24 hours worth of recording of just constantly being taken out, and that was a really frustrating experience, and that led to the writing of that script, which is where the negative Nelly came from. And here in this particular clip that we're watching, you can just really see how wild it is, because in the first two, they're just being taken out in turn one. You really miss the context of what's happening here. But this lap, you can see just at every braking zone, chaos. And not the good kind of chaos of someone making an attack or a position change on somebody else. It's just cars getting scattered everywhere, which shows not even the basic courtesy to yourself, to your own experience and the people you're racing against, to just learn the track. And here I thought maybe at this point we would have shed everybody who doesn't know the track, but apparently that one guy didn't realize we had a hairpin coming up and just decided to floor it. So that has been my experience pretty much thus far, but then I decided to take a step back and jump into these Alpines, just get into a different series. And so this race that now you're watching, this Alpine race, is the best LFM race I have had so far to date, and it is been the precipice for me making the mentality switch that I have to make with rFactor 2, and which is leading into the video we're going to now be discussing going forward. And first things first, LFM is fantastic as a service, and for what it's done for rFactor 2. They're doing a huge positive service, a hugely great deed to the sim racing community by just being their service and doing what that does for racing and for the community and the titles as a whole. It's just an incredible thing that they're doing. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, I have not enjoyed my experience so far when it comes to LFM, and that is because it is the LFM creates the iRacing-ization of rFactor 2, and that is not the typical experience or the experience that I have in my mind when I'm in rFactor 2. If I want the iRacing experience, I would go to iRacing, but my online racing experience for rFactor 2 is either non-existent, because you can't, there is no system like iRacing where you can just jump into hourly races, or it is done through league racing. So that is my preferred way to race online. I prefer to spend my time practicing and then getting into practice sessions with other people in the league and then jumping into race day, because I find that is the best creation of what I want to do. The thing that I'm not interested in is doing the F1 style, iRacing style, jump into random lobbies at every time and just get people who want to do whatever they want during that race, as opposed to being with a whole field of cars who have the intention of making it to the end of this race because it's a series and they want points going forward for the championship. And that whole wanting to finish this race because it is important for my future success is something that is completely eliminated when it goes to the hourly race iRacing model style of racing, where you can just say, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll just wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and now I'll be racing again. And so it creates a different style of racing. It goes from this methodical league racing mentality to this super aggro, take everything you can get from this moment style of hourly racing. And that is not what I'm going for. But finally, this video, or not this video, but this race that we're watching in this video was the turning point for me, because I had finally made that connection in my mind, that instead of trying to race LFM rFactor 2 like rFactor 2 league races, I need to race LFM rFactor 2 exactly like iRacing. So if I want to have any better experiences for the immediate future, the time going forward, I need to submit to the style of safety racing, or safety point racing. And that is incredibly boring. It is literally the opposite reason of why I want to race online, because you will spend this entire time alone on track, or if you do find someone else, you just let them go unless you could 1000% make a safe, clean pass with zero risk to yourself. And that is not why I race. And so, but hopefully we can get to the point where we're having battles on track with other people after, we get ourselves out of the rookie required series, and LFM decides to continue to expand on their rFactor 2 base. But until then, that is the game that I'm going to be playing. But for a very long time, I thought that success in or success at LFM, or not even a very long time, but up until I had this race and had this realization that I need to safety point safety point whore. Is that what they call it? Is that what the kids are calling it these days? But instead of racing for positions or for racing experience, I just need to be racing for the safety points. And before that, my mentality was, I just need to get super aggressive. Because I only had put together the iRacing-ization of rFactor 2, what I'll call, part, in that I realized that people are going to race incredibly stupid and incredibly rough just because it doesn't matter. We can jump on the next race soon. And that is kind of the middle ground that I found myself in leading into this race. So that explains what we can call the crappy driving that we're kind of watching. I'm not caring at all about the guy's race behind me. I am 1000% defending, and I'm just really racing here for the enjoyment of beating this guy, of racing this guy. And that is, I feel like, what is created with this model of racing, we can call it. And it is, I feel like, pretty mirrored pretty well between the experience that I had just kind of discussed talking about and going through versus the experience that we have here. So you have a split among users. You will have those who will race, or rather drive in races to the style of just reaching the top echelon, whatever that is, whether it's trying to get a higher license, whether it's trying to get more ELO points, or whether it's trying to accrue safety rating. So those people will reach the upper levels, and they will generally be faster. And then the other people who just want to jump in and race no matter what. And so that kind of split in your lobbies is terrible. And like, this guy rear-ending me and hitting me after the finish line, like, what is that? Why is that a part of my experience? But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I think this is going to be a little bit incendiary, and I don't mean it to be, but I feel like those are the extremes that live in the same racing world. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one, and let me know what you guys think about your LFM experience in rFactor 2.